Heyo, and welcome to this week's episode of The Roundup. My name's Brian Skowronski, and over the next several minutes, we are going to take you around the diamond right here in North Central Ohio, break down all the latest happenings going down on the baseball and softball diamonds, including all the conference hardware has been handed out. We'll tell you who won what conference, including the MOAC, where the never-ending game, I'm told, finally came to a close. We'll also dive inside of the district softball tournament, tell you who's competing this week, who we're going to go out and see with our own eyes, as well as the baseball tournament getting started as well. But first, like we always do, we're going to kick things off with today's Double Play.
Thank you very much, Brian, here on the Double Play now. Storm Bluntschly joined by the illustrious Garret Parlett, and Garret had a chance to go to Upper Sandusky, where it was an incredible game versus Mohawk, prevented them from winning the conference. Mohawk jumped out early to a 1-0 lead, and then it was all Upper Sandusky for the whole rest of the game. I mean, putting up 6 runs in the 5th inning. It was incredible. Jenna Clary went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. I mean, it was just an all-around stellar performance from them. Unfortunately, lost in the postseason to Colonel Crawford, but I believe that's what you wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, Storm, that's where I was at on Friday afternoon. Colonel Crawford was hosting Upper Sandusky, and they did end up winning that one 6-3, knocking off Upper Sandusky. Olivia Studer, the leader in home runs in the Northern 10, had a big 3-run shot in the 1st inning to really get the Eagles going out in front and let their defense really do the rest of the work.
Keeping it right with the theme of softball, I was out at Plymouth, and the only other game I saw from Plymouth this year was them getting obliterated by Crestview. But they have come a long way. They are the 3-seeded team here in the tournament, and it was a very good game they had versus Crestview, a really defensive, grinded-out game. They scored 4 runs in the first 3 innings, and then after that, the entire rest of the game was scoreless. So it was a really good performance from them, and they're going to be a scary team for anyone who has to face them this postseason. I believe we wanted to wrap things up. You were back in Worcester once again, wanted to talk about some baseball from them.
Yeah, Storm, and switching gears over to Worcester, they clinched the OCC with a big thriller win over the Ashland Arrows, 9-8. Tyler Petterini had a massive game. He carried the Generals on offense, as now they look forward to their sectional against Strongsville, as they will have to travel out on the road.
And I believe that's going to do it over here at the Double Play. Brian Skowronski is going to slide on through and steal the show away, and I believe he's going to head towards third.
That's right. We're going to round our way heading home here, guys. Talk to Travis. You mentioned some conference champions. I believe the MOAC game that never ended has finally ended. Let's go find out with Big League Berardi. Whew, what a journey from the Double Play over here to the big league, and boy, what a week for the MOAC, Travis. We've been talking about it the entire season long. So many storylines, so many scenarios, so many teams still in it with just 1 week to go, but that week is in the book. What have we finally learned about this conference?
Well, like I said last week, it's probably going to come down to the last day, and it did. It came down to Saturday morning, so let me break it all down to you.
Please do.
For you, Brian. First off, Tuesday, Wednesday, we had the scheduled Ontario-Harding matchups in the Clear Fork-Shelby, the big play-in, play-out games. First game on Tuesday, Shelby takes a big lead at Clear Fork. The Colts come fighting back. Just not enough. They lose by 1-4-3. Go to Wednesday, another big game for Whippets. They have a 5-run lead going into the top of the 7th. Clear Fork scores 6, but then in the bottom of the 7th, the freshman Alex Bruscotter, the walk-off RBI single, gives Shelby the share of the MOAC. Their schedules were done. Go to Ontario. They sweep Harding in their 2 games. They then had them play a makeup against Pleasant. They take care of that, meaning they had to play the continuation of the game that never ended. Top of the 12th, Ontario gets 2 runs at Clear Fork. Clear Fork can't score. Ontario wins, so we have a tie in the MOAC. Shelby and Ontario, congratulations, both with 2 losses. Clear Fork and Galleon finish a couple games behind.
But one thing that the Warriors can always say is those 2 losses for Shelby both belong to Ontario, clear back about a month ago.
The only 2 losses as well, because Shelby ended up finishing the year off, knocking off Division III number 3 Colonel Crawford. So the 2 lone losses for the Shelby Whippets come at the hands of the Ontario Warriors.
Yeah, they've got that gaudy win streak still rocking and rolling. But let's switch up gears now here, bat from the other side of the plate, and talk about some softball, where sectionals got underway last week, and we got an opportunity to cover a bunch of sectional champions. Who do you want to shine some light on and talk about?
Well, first off, a couple upsets.
There were.
Bucyrus top team in the Northern 10, they get knocked off by Cary. But you got to think about this. The 2 games they played against Cary were one-run games that Bucyrus squeaked out. So Cary got some payback, knocked them out in the sectional. And a game that you saw, the Ontario Warriors knocking off top-seeded Lexington, had to have been a good game for you to cover.
Yeah, it was super exciting. The fanfare was amazing. They sold a bunch of tickets. The energy was really good out there at Shelby. They had to play because too much flooding over in Lexington. They had to lead the entire game until a big 6th-inning push for the Lady Warriors where they scored a bunch of runs to take the lead. And what was most exciting for me to watch as a casual guy just taking in the action with no real dog in the fight is that they loaded up the bases, Lexington did, but they got no runs out of it. Ontario shut them down when they needed it most. Super excited to see those 2 Richland County rivals go toe-to-toe and see the Lady Warriors pull off a big upset win.
And then moving to Division 4, Crestview, they finally broke through. They knocked off Margaretta, a perennial power, to win a sectional final. They're going to go on to the districts. They'll take on top-seeded Edison, I believe, and Crawford. Crawford will play Edison. Crestview will play Huron. Those are the 4 games up at New Regal, as well as we have a big Division 2, the Willard District, Ontario, taking on Madison, the rivalry. And then on the other side, you have Bellevue and Clear Fork. So 4 big powers in Division 2. That's going to be a heck of a 4-team district that I will be seeing tomorrow. But other than that, a lot of good teams still available left here in the district tournament.
And a lot of familiarity. That's what I like with some of these matchups here at the district round is these teams, they played each other in the regular season. They grew up playing each other. So, we got some fun, exciting softball coming up as well as the baseball tournament getting underway this week as well. So you can catch us on a field near you every single day this week through the weekend. But for now, why don't we go ahead, head home here, Travis? I'm going to hop on for a ride. It was leg day for me. I'm a little tired. Let's head home. Yeehaw! As we head for home for our Grand Slam today to tell you kids about the best thing that we saw all week. We multitask here on the OH Report, getting in a little bit of leg exercises here. And speaking of multitasking and carrying the team on their back, how about the freshmen for the Shelby Whippets this week, Trav?
Yeah, Alex Brustcotter from Shelby had the game-winning walk-off hit in Shelby's victory over Clear Fork to clinch a share of the MOAC championship. Then a couple days later, against Colonel Crawford, the number 3 team in Division 3, works 4 innings of shutout baseball to get the save against them to close out the season for the Whippets. What a job done by the freshmen.
Speaking of some shutout baseball, I saw Norwalk St. Paul head over to Plymouth with a winner-take-all game for the Firelands Conference, and what a pitcher duel that I saw. Zeth Goth really filled it up. Took a 0-0 game into the 7th before he gave up a couple of hits. And Scotty doesn't know. No, Scotty doesn't know. But he was the best thing that I saw all week. Scotty Adelman went the distance, 14 strikeouts, helped lead his team to a 2-0 victory for the Flyers, who locked up their 4th consecutive Firelands Conference championship. It's hard not to be impressed by that.
Well, Brian, I'm going to take mine out to Worcester Country, where I've seen senior standout Tyler Petterini, obviously headed to Ohio State on the scholarship, had 3 big hits, 4 big RBIs, and had the walk-off game-winning sac fly to send Worcester over Ashland for the OCC crown.
Whew. And Storm?
I mean, mine's got to be Upper Sandusky headed out there. Unfortunately, they lost in the postseason, but they had an incredible game versus Mohawk. Started off down 1, and I believe in the 5th inning scored 6 runs, so it was a very impressive performance for them. Jenna Clary went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, so just an all-around great game of softball for them.
Right, so lots of conference champions this week, and just really a lot of fun overall, I would say, watching these teams and these individuals step up to the plate, pun intended, when they really needed to and make the big plays to get those W's and get those crowns. That's going to do it for us here this week on the Roundup. Just one more show remaining, guys, so make sure that you tune in while you can. But for now, I'm told that these two got a couple of dance moves that they're going to show you. We out.